Let's Talk Oculus, a VR podcast, is proudly sponsored by the good folks at Patreon. If you want to support the show, join us on patreon.com/Let's Talk Oculus. What's up, Oculus nerds? Welcome back to Let's Talk Oculus episode 184. I'm your host as always. I'm Dan. I'm joined by my co-host as always. It is Samson. How you doing? A nice Max Mustard t-shirt, by the way, for those audio listeners. He's wearing a cool Max Mustard t-shirt.
Yeah, it's a great one. Great game. One of the little best. platformer. And Dan, it's been a great week. Got in some VR. So comes some hype that we'll get into later. Mm-hmm. Got into Eggy, which I've been talking about a little bit. I talked about when we read it. When I read their little blurb.
Yep.
And we finally got in. Hatched that little dragon, Dan. So we'll get into that later. What have you been up to?
I jumped into the hype of Ghost Town because Ghost Town, I'm from the podcast last week. I was like, I won't get this game. I like the idea of it. It looks cool, and I think it's one of my picks when we had the VR showcase earlier this year. I was like, oh, this looks very much Seventh Guest, and it's right up my alley. But I'm going to leave it until the end of the year. And plus, I wanted to wait for reviews too because there's been some already some big games coming out this year, and they've come out with bugs, delays, issues galore. Wanderer, just to name the few of the one that I was really excited about. And it just seems to be a reoccurring thing of like a lot of games are releasing with issues and needing patches and needing
bigger games.
Whole pipeline. It's bigger games, yeah, but it's been the big ones that we've been excited for. So I was worried about this one because of all that. And lo and behold, it doesn't really have any bugs at all, to be honest. But we'll talk about that in
I did see some cockroaches.
Yeah, there was the odd one or two. But yeah, so we're going to get into that. But obviously, it's a brand new Walkabout course week. That's what we're talking about here. That's the main part of the show. To be honest, we got to talk about Walkabout Mini Golf's Raptor Cliffs course, which is the one that comes out. It came out yesterday for those who are listening on the podcast, if you're listening as this episode comes out, which takes me straight into the quick housekeeping here, Samson. If you like us so much, join us on Patreon because we also have two new Patreons to discuss. Welcome, Joel and Leanna to the Patreon, friends of the show. You. They've been in the Discord for a while, and they've been playing Walkabout with us on Thursdays as well. And they both, within the matter of 30 minutes or an hour,
it was kind of crazy.
Yeah, I was like, what's going on? Have they been talking? But it was and they get the same amounts as well on Patreon. And I was like, well, that was kind of funny. But it literally happened within moments of each other. But thank you so much for supporting the show.
Thank you. Yes.
Thank you so much. And if you want to support the show, patreon.com/Let's Talk Oculus. If you want to join our Discord, which is free, the link is below, and you can join our Discord. And in there, we have a lot of Walkabout stuff, which is kind of the theme of today's podcast. We have Healing Entree, a Discord community member. He's been hosting the Walkabout tournaments every single week. So make sure you get your scores in there, and then he will give you back. I'm not going to lie, Samson, I have forgotten to do this week.
Dan, there's still time for us. We can do it after actual day of
That's
recording.
That's true.
But not for those of you, we don't have next week's courses yet. So come on down to the Discord. Fair. What a great transition there, where you can find the Walkabout Talk About channel, where we discuss all things Walkabout. And I'm sure Thursday, when this course releases, we will be talking about it. And it is also where Healing Entree announces the courses each week.
I would hazard a guess that the next course will be Raptor's Cliff, to be honest. Raptor Cliff, sorry.
It'll be one of them, but we don't know easy or hard.
Yeah, we don't know yet. We don't know. And if you want to play Walkabout with us every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern, coming down to the Discord. And also, if you really want to play with us, but also 7 p.m. Eastern doesn't work, maybe your time zone is completely different to Eastern and such, and it doesn't work, let us know as well, because we can make it happen.
And just to preemptively warn people, we will be canceling in 2 weeks because we'll be at PAX East.
That's true. I will be I'll be on the flight to you basically in Boston, and
Yes.
whilst we would normally play. So yes, we will cancel that one next week. It'll be next week's actually. Thinking about it, is it next week?
It's whenever May 15th is.
It's not May 15th, Samson.
It's May 8th. May 8th. You're right. You're right.
You always give me a heart attack when you say the wrong date.
Just kidding.
Like, I got the flights already. It's next week. Yeah, literally like the week after this. The podcast will go up as normal. We will have it recorded and such. But yeah, a week after this is PAX East. And if you're around
it just
the
came
Boston
up so
area,
fast, yeah.
It has come up so fast. I'm not even ready. I'm not prepared. But it's come up so fast. And if you fancy joining us, if you're around, even if you're not going to PAX, but if you're in the Boston area, let us know. I'll be there for a couple of days. Samson will be there all the time because he lives there. So so he will be there at all. But yeah, let us know. No comments this week, Samson. We are recording
quiet week.
We are recording this early, and but
the last one late.
Yeah, so yeah, but if you do want to write us in, write into the show you can use the episode discussion channel in Discord. You can go on Spotify. You can go on Twitter. You can, et cetera, et cetera. You can do all that. You can do all that. Lots of ways to send us comments.
Many ways to comment.
Many ways. So there's not much VR news. There's nothing happened really over the weekend. There was actually there was something that I didn't write in the script, but there was layoffs at Meta. A bunch of the Supernatural folks did get laid off, unfortunately, and this is kind of a theme. Like every year for I think the last 3 years, this has happened around this time and such. So that's definitely one of the major things that happened. But in terms of that, nothing really has been happened just yet. We did actually technically have a comment that I just want to read out, Samson. It's from Pow Pow. This is on for episode 181, so a few weeks ago, but he did just message a few days ago. He said that I saw you wanted to try Clean Sheet. I've had it for a while and love how they're continually updating it with DLC. The game is flawless in what it offers, but it does get a little old after 20 to 25 minutes. Definitely worth a purchase, but $20 seems a little high. Wait for the 50% sale. I've seen it on sale a month, so you shouldn't have to wait long. So that's from Pow Pow. Thanks so much, Pow Pow. Pow Pow has played almost every game under the sun.
Pow Pow is big into playing a wide range.
Which is great. It's so
I met him through Breachers, and I thought he was mostly just like the shooter, but no, I misread that cover of the book, and I've opened up the book, and that book is many various different chapters.
I wasn't sure where you were going there, but you landed it. You landed it. Samson, let's talk about some dinosaurs. Let's talk about Raptor Cliffs. That's more like a cat, wasn't it? Sure. We're going to get into our initial thoughts, course design, mechanics, favorite holes, least favorite holes, favorite ball, and I was going to say fox hunt, but I'm not going to lie, Samson, I got stuck, so I never finished it. What?
How many balls did you find?
Not many. I'm not great at ball finding, but I did find one that I really liked.
Dan, the putter. Can I talk about it?
Did you do the fox hunt? You done it?
Yeah, I did the fox hunt. Dan.
Okay. Wait. We'll get to it. Let's get to it right at the end. Let's start off with this initial impressions, and we'll get to it. We'll have full spoilers, by the way. So if you want to,
it's incredible.
If you want to hear this later, I'll get spoiled, but that's fine. We're part of the show here. Obviously, skip ahead. You can always watch this later once you've played Raptor Cliffs. Samson, let's start with initial thoughts. Maybe we'll throw it to you first. What are your initial thoughts of the course when you first jumped in?
Dan, easy mode. I hopped into that one first, obviously, and loved it. Great vibes. I was mostly my first playthrough just focused on golf and didn't really take in too much of the vibe. And then second playthrough sort of took in more of the vibe. So initial playthrough, I was like, ooh, this course, I'm liking this. I think I put it like a -10 or something like this. And I got a couple hole-in-one holes, right?
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, this feels very fair. Like all these pars, I'm like, I'm happen to hitting good shots and getting birdies, but like they all feel very fair. Like I could have gotten a par easily, right? And I love the variety. I'm getting past initial impressions. I really liked my initial impression. Good. Very good.
I was
Yours?
laughing at your score there because you were like -10, right? You said, mine, my first go was +13, my second go was +7, and my third go was -1. And
No
that
way,
was,
dude.
I was -5 going into the last hole, and I maxed out on the last hole for some reason.
Okay, it was -13. I sent it to you guys.
There you go. So I was the exact opposite. For some reason, I just could not get. I don't know if it was like my mental state when I played it at the time, but I just could not hit a putt to save my life and
Which
get those
holes?
contours right. Number 3, I had a big. I've maxed out on number 3, which was the volcano.
That one's particularly hard on hard mode.
Yes, because it's taller and it has rocks next to it.
And it's
right?
uneven, like there's many different faces. Easy mode though, Dan, you struggled?
Maxed out on so many. Like there was one that's you're in the tree tops and you've got the like wooden bridge, and then
I love that one.
Yeah, when you hit it hard, it hits the back, right? And I just kept when you hit it
soft, Dan.
Oh, hit it soft, but for some reason I just couldn't. I didn't have the touch. I didn't have the one that you're right at the top and you need to put it down to the beach.
Yeah, that's my favorite one. That's my absolute favorite one.
I messed that up so many times until I finally realized what I was meant to do. Sometimes this is it.
Were you just launching it? Were you just launching?
I was hitting it too hard, and there was the tree box that was there.
Because that one's great because you hit it just not too light, but just a little bit, and it just goes so long in the air because you're at the top of a waterfall. And then it bounces so high just because it has so much inertia. Yeah. So you really can't.
You don't want to hit it hard.
There's some leeway there.
There's something. There's I don't know if it's a trick shot, but there's like a tree bark that's stuck out, right? So if you hit it hard, you're going to hit the tree bark. But I'm wondering if there's something you can do there that will go straight towards the hole, because it's facing the hole.
You can hit it right towards the hole.
Yeah, you can.
At the right pace, it'll just land there.
See, maybe this is the problem. I've been overcomplicating this course.
You seem to do in Walkabout what I do in Ghost Town. You just overcomplicate it. You just overcomplicate things to the point where things just fall apart.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so that's our initial thoughts. But okay, one of my initial thoughts actually is that it felt so different to any Walkabout course that we've had so far. There's something about it that really feels different, and I think this leads on to the course design. This is an actual golf course. This is the first time we've actually played golf on a proper golf course. Every other Walkabout course is we're in a setting and it just happens to have holes. This is an actual golf course. You go in, there's a little shack there where you can rent your clubs, and then by each hole there's like a full-on like sign which hole it is going to be and where the next hole is going to be, and then there's scorecards all around. Sometimes it's on the floor, sometimes it's where
very
it needs to be. You are actually finally playing golf at literally a mini golf or mini putt like park that would be there in real life. Like this could easily, apart from the dinosaurs, could easily be a real course.
Yeah, and those could be animatronic, Dan.
That's true. Yeah, that is true. So that was really cool, and for some reason I think that's what it is that's why it feels so different to any other course. Like it really feels very different.
That is perhaps why I felt like a course that is a great intro course, because it feels like it could be a real course that you play. I mean that waterfall course would be quite an intense real life course hole, but yeah, Dan.
I guess maybe one or two holes might not work.
It did make me wish that it updated the scorecard there as you went along.
I was thinking that same thing. I was like, this would be cool if it did actually update and you look on it and it was there. But you know, they've put so much. I think when I remember on the press release, they said it was the most. What was it? Something about like the
moving things, right? I mean. There's a lot of polygons on those
Most
dinosaurs.
polygons, I think that's what they were saying.
And the dinosaurs move a lot. One of them blinks.
Yeah.
Maybe many of them blink. I noticed one of them blinking.
So on hole 1, you have the big raptor, right? You're the big T-Rex, I would say. And it turns around, it looks your belly. The belly inflates when it's breathing and such. So that's all there. And it's not just animatronics. These are real dinosaurs, Samson. These are real dinosaurs. But I really love the course design. I think a lot of the hole designs, without getting into like favorite holes, are just quite clever in terms of using the actual, like the rapids hole, where you're next to like the river rapids, but the hole itself is like wavy and rocks and all that stuff. It's next to the tube, so when you get to
that's a narrow long one, right?
It's a narrow long one, and then you've got like the tree tops when you go up there, and you've got like a zip line, but then you don't.
Did you use the zip line?
I didn't know you could use it. I was trying, and it didn't work.
Hold your arm up.
Yeah.
And then eventually it'll vibrate, and then just go.
Oh, no way! Okay, I was pressing like the down button on the controller and such.
I might have had the whole grip, but
I was like, this must work, but it didn't work for me. But then I didn't realize,
And once you're on it, I think you can lower your arm. Dave did that, but I told him it was pretty immersion breaking just to see him
fair.
Zip lining without holding anything.
Because that's part of the fox hunt, as we'll talk about later as well. But yeah, I think the course design is really cool. I like the fact that it's not flat, like you're going up to the tree tops and then you're doing a few holes in there, and there's some cool usage of environment to get through these holes. And then you come down to the beaches and eventually make your way to the final like outpost where you can is the lockout, right, and such. So I love the way it's designed.
And it's almost the opposite of Olympus. In Olympus, it was very grand, and you could almost see the whole course the whole time. Whereas this course is very enclosed. Almost each hole is like a real in a golf course. Each hole sort of feels like its own hole, its own little story, which Olympus feels like, but you're really enclosed. You can't see many of the other, like you can.
Well, when you go into God mode, you can't really see the holes, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the wall kind of
you can see the beach, obviously, but
yeah. What do you think of the design of the course?
I love it, Dan.
Yeah,
it's fantastic. It's amazing. I never really put it together, and I love that you've now you've shown me what I love, and that it is the most real meta golf course that we've had so far. Like, it starts with a gift shop. Like this, exactly. The gift shop has so much in it too. And I just want to buy it all. And Dan,
I think you might be able to.
Dan, I'll tell you what, I guarantee it. You're going to be able to buy the putter. Okay. We'll get to the putter. Dan, did you see? Speaking of course design, did you see there's a little island out in the?
Yeah, you can use the binoculars to look at the island, and I saw at night mode the little plush dinosaurs are there.
Yes.
Yeah, it was cool. Before we move on to like favorite holes and the mechanics and such, I just want to ask you, what did you think of the difference between easy and hard? Yeah.
Oh, Dan. Hard mode, complete opposite. Not a great one to intro. It's so hard, Dan. I was like, oh my gosh, this is only a par, whatever.
Yeah, I struggled a lot.
There were so many par threes where I was like, wow, I'm only just barely getting. This is a tough one to try to make. It was hard mode was a challenge, but I thought that it was very, very good upgrades, or not upgrades, but like very good takes on each mode. Dan, the one though where the dinosaur is moving its head.
Yeah. Oh,
on hard mode,
I maxed out every time. I can't hit it.
Easy mode,
because he's taller as well.
Yeah. Oh, he moves on far too many axes. And far too quickly.
And then he opens and closes his mouth, and it's tough. That's
a very hard one on hard mode. Another one both hard and easy mode that I tend to struggle with is one where you're going through the log.
Oh,
it has the holes sort
with the
of,
holes
and you kind of
inside.
got to curve it around on easy, and on hard you got to S curve it almost.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that one just needs to touch. I feel like with this course, it just requires a lot of practice, to be honest, because to understand which shots you should take. It's not one of those. That's why I'm not sure if it's one that you could throw someone straight into, because
easy mode, I think you could.
Yeah, fair enough. I just for some reason just did not click with the easy
I
mode.
mean, whether or not it's hard or not, you understood what you like.
And you're in a golf course, so it makes more sense, right? Yeah, I think Tourist Trap, no doubt, is definitely the first one. But yeah, I think in that case, I guess what you're right. I think you can put it in.
I think you were overcomplicating things. I think if you were new to that game and you had never played before, you would have done.
I think so. I think also playing with the people we play with on Thursdays, and especially Dave, for example, I'm thinking
Dave's trick shots and wild on Thursdays, but he used to like go for his score. And then I think he realized he's like, oh, wait, this is kind of more fun to just goof around with.
Just try
and it's almost like when on Breachers, when we do the more like death match, I forget what where you have to get the zones, control point one.
Yeah.
We sort of goof around a lot more than when we do the more typical breaching mode.
Mm-hmm.
And that's sort of what Thursdays feel like now at times, which is like, just go for especially if you're doing simultaneous mode where it doesn't really matter.
You're just having a fun time.
Yeah,
you're just having a fun time, having a chat, and it's all good time.
So, even if you don't find you're that great, come on, hang out Thursday nights. Anyway, getting back to the course, Dan. Should we talk balls?
Quick on the mechanics, 17.
Oh, yes.
Hole 17 with the wind.
Only on easy mode.
Yeah, okay, so only on easy mode. And hard mode, there's no wind left. It took me a while. It took me third playthrough until I realized what to do. Because I kept...
You just hit it straight a little bit to the left.
No, that's the thing. I was trying to... This is me just trying to go for it. Is that I'm trying to bounce it off to the right side. This is hole 17, the paragliding one. I'm trying to bounce it off the wall on the right side, so then it goes across to the far left. And I was like, the wind's going to bring it up and bring it straight to the hole. But it doesn't work like that in terms of physics.
It further.
Yeah, you kind of want to hit it in the middle one if you can, so it can go into the third one. But that took me a while. I kept doing it, and I was like, "Come on, this has got to work. This has got to work." This is why I went for trick shot straight away when I should just played the game normally.
Crazy, yeah. You do that in practice mode.
And it was annoying because I couldn't unlock hard mode without the
then you needed the balls for the par.
Yeah. So anyway, what do you want to move on to next? The balls or the holes?
Let's do the holes.
Okay, favorite holes. What are your favorite holes?
Well, favorite hole was waterfall hole, both on easy and hard. Yeah, it's pretty much the same on hard. It's just like a little bit different placement.
That's fair.
What's your favorite?
I've already mentioned the River Rapids one that I really like, but I actually really like the one just before that as well, which is the tube hole.
That one's hard, Dan. What's your strategy on it?
I just hit it, but like I like the idea that there's two tubes that you can try and get in, and if you get
that one, I thought you meant the long narrow one.
Yeah. No, not that one. The one that you have to. There's like a sign that says tubes this way, and if you hit the sign, it comes back. But if you get it in the hole, it's pretty much a hole in one.
That one's got the Raptor added, I think.
Yeah. Holding the tube in its mouth and such. I really like that one for some reason. I just like the little design, and once you bounce it off, it can kind of go anywhere, and it's a bit trick shotty. I like that one a lot.
Dan, that's my number 2 here. And you saw that if you get it in the tube, you get a hole in one.
Yeah.
It's a great little gimmicky thing. I like the bounce it off the wall. It's a nice little, I'm sure there's other trick shots that, once we play Thursday night, we'll figure out and learn.
I struggled with 18 a lot as well, by the way. For some reason...
Hard mode 18 is tough.
So when I did easy mode 18 first time, I actually got it straight to the hole with one shot. Never been able to do it since. I've been trying to do that since, and I never could do it.
And it's a par 5, so even if... I literally just did it before recording too. If you just take your time, you'll get up there in 3.
Yeah,
and you
then
can still easily, you can easily birdie.
I think because my first shot, I got it right next to the hole and put it in, and I was like, I probably can do this every time, and it did not work. Then the one set, actually, I got to like the middle section, and then tried to go up the last ramp, and it didn't go up as much, and then it went down, and then it went down the bottom ramp, and it went all the way, and I was like, god damn it. Sometimes those ramp ones, you just need that feel. Sometimes you just want to tap it and just do little.
And yeah, that one, 18 can set you back. But they give you they give
you a lot of shots, I guess. Yeah. I find for some reason the egg one, the one with the dinosaur eggs, sometimes I just don't get the touch for that either, because there's once again contours. And if you hit it too hard, it goes back down and such. And,
that one can be tough. But I like that one. But no, it's not one of my tops. My third favorite, Dan.
Oh, you have third. Okay, go on.
I've got a third favorite. It's Spike. It's number 2. Where you go up and over the dinosaur, and the head moves, and you could potentially get a hole-in-one, I imagine.
I think you got to time it right, yeah. But there is one, like if the head moves left,
and you got to get the weight right because it's got to go speed-wise.
If the head moves away from you, if the ball goes closer to the hole, is what I realized. But then if it looks towards the hole, it doesn't go as much. Either way, like it's easy to get the 2, to be honest. But I like it in hard mode as well, because hard mode it's just sleeping. And you still got to roll it on top, which is fun.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But yeah, it's my top 3. Least favorite, Dan, is the tree one, where you're going through the tree.
Which one? The one with the holes. With the holes that you mentioned. Yeah, that's fair enough. That one, for some reason, I always kept getting. I don't know why. It was probably my hit and hope, but my least favorite is the volcano one on hole 3. I find it sometimes feel really difficult. I don't know why. On hard mode, it's hard, tough. But it's just one of those. You got to get it just right, because if you don't, it can. The amount of times it's hit the rim and just rolled off and such, and yeah, it's one of those. It's one of those where it kind of looks like there should be an easy hole-in-one, but if you just get it slightly wrong, sometimes it can be frustrating. Is what I meant, and it happens early on. I think
you get the yips once you start missing it. You get the yips.
Yeah, you do.
Oh wait, what is it? What is it?
Yeah, you do. I did max out on that a few times, but I think that's more to ability. I do like the little plop when it goes into the volcano though. It's really cool. All right, let's talk about the favorite balls. I have not found all of them, but I found a few.
I've only found 5.
Okay, I've definitely found I think I found 3 or 4, but my favorite one is the first one I actually found, which was the fossils. I think it's on hole 2 or hole 3, and it's just like a egg colored, like dinosaur egg colored ball, like a cream ball, and it has like fossils all around it, like little fossil stickers kind of all around it. I like that one. Out of the very few balls that I found, I like that one the most. How about yourself?
Yeah, well, out of the very few I found, I like the wood one. It looks like a chopped piece of wood, but rounded off, obviously, in ball form.
That's cool.
Because it's a golf ball.
It is a golf ball, yeah.
Yeah, and that's my favorite. I think I might pair that one up with the Gandalf staff, so I'm just wood on wood.
I like that.
Yeah.
But then, speaking of putters, go.
Can we talk a little bit about the Avatar stuff? Did you look at the avatars?
I actually didn't. I forgot to.
Okay.
You tell me.
Okay. So there's 3 dinosaur heads.
Yeah.
I won't spoil what types of heads they are, but you can probably guess. Not because I can't pronounce what dinosaurs they are, I swear. And then there's some gear. Specifically, there's a Raptor Cliffs baseball hat.
Cool.
That is now my favorite. I'm wearing it.
That's cool.
I'm wearing it. You can change the color of it. That's mine.
Oh, cool. That's really cool. Yeah, that's yours. That's cool. I love that. What are is there any more?
No, that's it. It's really mainly the dinosaurs. There might be more, Dan.
There might be more when it comes out. Yeah, sometimes we've had it in the past where we've got the press release and there's a few assets, but then when it comes out, there's more in the store.
Imagine if they added in after the press one, the scorecard updating each hole.
It could do. It's happened before as well, where there's been a few things that have not happened, but that'd be cool. Okay, let's talk about the Foxen. I got stuck at the paraglider, to be honest. There's a question about that saying...
Because you don't know how to get...
I just couldn't find it. I just looked
around.
Up
at the paraglider? It's somewhere around there, yeah.
I just couldn't find it. I was looking for a while, and then I was like, okay, I'll come back to this.
I had Dave helping me, but I didn't feel like I had to travel too far.
You had assistance.
Yeah.
It's
Dan, the putter.
Tell me about it.
Okay, so do you know those sort of claw things where you have a grip and the end is a claw that grips? And this one is shaped
like a litter picker kind of thing?
Yeah, sort of, but this one's shaped like a T-Rex head. Oh. And so the putter head would be like what would be the claw. Yeah. There's a T-Rex head. It doesn't open or close, but it's just solidly closed. And but the thing looks like that, like up where the grip is where you'd have the grip thing to press. And I'm so hoping they sell these, and I will buy one.
Is what's on the putter head itself?
The putter head is like the T-Rex head.
Closed. Oh! Sorry. I thought for some reason when I was describing, I was thinking of that backwards. Okay, yeah, I get it. Yeah. So it's at the bottom.
So it feels like a real one that you would like hold and or use.
What about the grip? Is the grip just like what it would be?
Yeah, so the grip looks like like picture the end of one where you'd have to like press in.
Yeah, so I got it. Yeah, I got it.
Open.
I got it.
Obviously, it doesn't actually press in or anything, but that's what it looks like.
Yeah,
it looks like a normal handle with one of those.
Does this replace your current putter?
I mean, I'll use it Thursday just to show it off, but I'll probably go back to splitting between the 8-bit layer and the wood.
That'd be cool if they haven't sold any putters online. I mean, I guess they're hard to do because some of the putters are impossible, like the upside down one, for example.
Are we done talking about the course? Because there's a few other new things in it that I want to talk about.
Go for it. Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. The hut.
So the hut's now reorganized. So there's now all the classics, which the most recent one of the classics I think is Alfheim.
Courses.
In terms of courses, is Alfheim.
Yeah.
And they've moved a couple of my favorites to the second page now.
Yeah.
I'm pretty certain Sweetopia will be played a lot more now. It's on the front page.
Yeah, so you don't have to go through it.
And other than that, I think it's pretty good organization. That's pretty much the biggest change there. And then all the putters. Now their putters that you don't have are now blank or like blued out.
Yeah.
So you can see which course you don't have the putters on.
They have the same blue glow when you go into a course and you have the ball, right? It's the same one. I actually love this because I realized that I did not have a bunch of putters. And
I'm missing a lot.
Yeah, I thought I was more. I didn't realize how many I was missing, but this is so much better because you can now rotate. You kind of go through, flick through the putters that are in there, and it has the course that's associated with the putter. So you know which one it's from. I mean, with the putters, it's quite obvious where they're from in terms because they're themed about the courses. But some of them are like kind of.
There's generic. A lot of courses though. Yeah. It's nice to just know.
Yeah, it's nice. So yeah, a great update there. Was there anything else?
Yeah, there's a little more. Because obviously there's a door that's been put in, an employee entrance. The employee entrance to Sweetopia is now open. And now it's also taught us what they're going to do in situations where there was really no door, like Arizona Modern, where are they going to put a door?
Yeah.
Sweetopia, where were they going to put a door? All they did was draw a door on a wall, and it's like a black outline with a doorknob they put on, and there you have it. There's a Sweetopia employee entrance. And Dan, in the Sweetopia in the office, once you open up the door, it says, "Reminder: bug catching nets are for official use only."
Oh, so there
was no bug catcher in there. There was no bug catcher in there in the press one, but we gotta hop in on Thursday.
Yeah, and see if we can find it
and see if this is bug catching in Sweetopia.
Yeah. Be like the leaf blower kind of thing, right?
Exactly. But it's for official use only, so no messing around.
No messing around. You there to use it to catch bugs, and that's it. Exactly. I love how the little sock puppet is still alive as well. They've not taken that out, and I don't think they plan to take that out anytime soon.
Dan, I think that's it.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's the course, Raptors Cliff. Let us know how, what everyone else thinks. Let us know in the Discord. Let us know in the comments. Very good course.
Yeah, every 6 weeks, Walkabout's keeping us in business with an episode.
Yeah. Very, very good course. Yeah, I love it. I mean, we'll see at the end of the year how this ranks compared to the other courses. For now, but we've had Elvis, we've had Mount Olympus, and we've had Raptor Cliffs. So we've had these 3 courses.
Do you want to rank them? Should we say that for a later pod?
We can save it for a later. I feel like I need more time.
What's your gut?
My gut is...
You need more time done with this. That's true.
I'll tell you my gut. My gut is so far Mount Olympus, Raptor Cliffs second, and Elvis third.
Yeah.
But I'm not much of an Elvis fan in general. So the course is cool, but I think I just resonate more with Raptor Cliffs in terms of a theme. And I still think Mount Olympus is like one of their best courses they've ever done. I think it's just really well made.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not too far off. I agree. Elvis is a cool course, but I'm not its target demographic there. I'd flip the other 2 just for now, but like it's also pretty early.
Recency bias and everything, yeah.
I don't know about that, but I love a classic course. Like Olympus is great. It's super grand, but just a classic mini golf course. Like it feels OG almost. Like it's a little more complicated than some of the OGs.
Yeah, of course, There's so many assets in there, and there's so much going on, and this must have taken a while to make and design.
It feels like if Mighty Coconut had made Tourist Trap now, after all they've done, it would be, I think, it would be more similar to Raptor's Cliff, right?
Yeah,
and that's what I think.
I think so too. I think so too. I know what you're saying. If they remastered or they just made Tourist Trap from scratch, it would be very similar to a Raptor's Cliff. Maybe not as much curvature and such, right?
It would just be. It would just like have more. Yeah. It would just. I feel like it's just a modern take on that intro course.
Yeah, I think the biggest takeaway from this course is that I love the way this feels. The course, I think the course design is. I mean, same with Mount Olympus. The course design for both courses are like top tier. They're really flexing their muscles, and can't wait to see what's next. Well, gosh knows what they're going to make next. I didn't realize they were going to make this, and look, it's fantastic. It's a fantastic course. So kudos.
There's been no announced IPs, right? We have nothing in the pipeline. Okay.
No, nothing yet.
I bet next we learn about maybe a next IP course, and then we get that'll
like
come
an announcement that comes out in December potentially. Yeah,
I hope that's the next thing we learn.
We don't really know the pattern though. That's just what they did last year, right? But they may not have been. It might just been.
How many IP courses came out last year? I don't know off the top of my head, but I feel like you probably have at least 2. Right?
I think it was just Wallace and Gromit, because Elvis was announced, but it didn't come out till January. The year before we had Meow Wolf, which came out, which was its big IP course, I would say.
It was the whole year before. That was
in like October, I think. Meow Wolf came out, and then they had
Labyrinth,
Mist, and Labyrinth. I think were in the same year. I think Labyrinth was at the start and Mist was at the end.
There you go. There's our precedent.
Like we said, everything is the same every year. No, I don't know what they're gonna do, to be honest, but I'm just excited. They're smashing it. Their course design, whoever's making these course designs are like kudos. I
still want something weird though.
Samson, I forgot to say before we wrap this talk up. This whole pod is just gonna be Walkabout related.
Great. Love it.
I just forgot to mention the music. The music feels like, and if for those Zelda fans out there, the music feels like if I was in a little town in a Zelda game. It's got that kind of, it's got those instruments. It's got that feel about it, and I absolutely love it. It just feels like a little small town in a Zelda game. Is what that music is.
Oh, that's my bad, Dan.
What?
I forgot to turn the music on.
Oh, it's okay. Look, between us, we have played the full course properly.
It's true. Yeah, facts.
One has done the fox, and one has listened to the music.
We didn't find all the balls, but we found 8 of them probably.
Yeah, if we found different ones, we found 8 of them. I found 2, 3, and I think 17 is what I remember, but I may have found one more. I couldn't find the first one to save my life, and I don't know. I thought it'd be so obvious, but I couldn't find it.
I don't remember which ones I found, but
yeah, fair enough. Actually, no, I think the fossils one that I really like is on 17th, to be honest. But anyway, I don't remember, but it's one of them.
Moving right along.
All right, Sam. So before we round off this part, let's just quickly talk about May.
Yeah, it was a little longer than I feel like you thought it would be.
Much longer. It's gone like almost 40 minutes of Walkabout, and you know what? We're here for it. So real quick, there's a bunch of games that are coming out in May, like a bunch of games. I'm gonna quickly name them, just so everyone knows what they are, but we won't go through them in particular, but we'll make some picks. You've got Barely Escape, which is I believe like a not Mad Max style, but it is that kind of platformer game. We have a Legends BMX, which is like a Tony Hawk mixed reality game. We have Final Fury, which is from the Synth Riders folks, which is a fighting game, which looks a lot like ARMS from the Switch titles. We have Requisition VR, which is coming out, which is a zombie physics-based co-op zombie game.
You can make funky guns on that.
Yeah, it got Slender the Arrival, which is obviously a horror game, which is coming from the. Are they coming from the flat screen VR games?
I don't know.
No, I don't think this one is, but it is ported from a flat screen game, which is coming out on Quest. We've got Tunnels VR, which looks like complete horror mayhem. We've got VR roguelite, which is Quantum Threshold. There's also Zombie Army VR, which is Zombie Army VR is like a popular Zombie Army in general is not popular, but it's a flat screen game. Yeah, Hard Bullet is a like physics based combat simulator, which is coming out. We have another physics based sandbox, which is Besiege VR, which is coming out on Quest. I think that's a remake. You have Honeypot, the Bears and the Bees,
VR Monkey
co-op VR game, which is made by. Was it made by? Yeah, it's VR Monkey. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you got it right. Yeah. And then you've got Trailblazer, which is like a story-based interactive experience, which is like Daisy Ridley, who's in Star Wars. She stars in it. It's been a lot of festivals. That's coming out sometime in May. And then you've also got this I can't even say it, Samson.
Vivarium?
Sure, Vivarium. That's like a simulator with like you get like a fish tank or like a tank with other pets like frogs or something, and it seems like you gotta like just take care of it, but that's pretty much the games.
Not much my speed, honestly.
That's the games that are coming out this May. Are there any in that list there, Samson, that you want to just point out real quick?
In that list,
or in your own list, because I feel like you have one that I never named.
I do want to highlight just the one
that's not coming out on Quest.
Yeah, the Midnight Walk, because I've already pre-ordered it and I'm excited for it. It's on PlayStation VR. I got it.
Yeah, it looks fantastic,
and it looks great. So
that game looks like that game. If you're just in terms of just VR in general, that game is definitely the standout game for me, for sure.
Yeah, and then there's probably 2 others that I'm like, interested in here. That's Trailblazer, because I love me some
me too,
experiences like that, narrative experiences.
Yeah,
and 3 Final Fury. I'm not that into PvP games, but I love me some Synth Riders in Cluj.
Yeah,
so I gotta be trying it. I gotta get in there. But PvP, I don't know. But I'll give it a whirl, Dan. I'll give it a whirl. And Legends BMX. It looks like Tony Hawk. It looks like third person, and it'll be interesting how that plays and feels, because
it's mixed reality.
if it plays and feels good, that could be kind of fun to kill some time in.
It could be, yeah. So it's mixed reality where you basically put in your BMX tracks, so your half pipes and all that kind of thing, like in your living room or such, and then you control the character on the BMX using your controller, and you can do all your tricks and all that stuff. But I think it'd be cool I think it's a cool take for doing it in mixed reality.
It's interesting.
To be honest. Yeah, I think the only one that really
is there any first person in it or no?
No, it's not from what I see. No, from the trailer, it's just pure like third person. I feel like first person, you'll be sick.
I mean, like a game like Trackcraft, you can go first person.
Maybe, but not from what I saw. The only one that really, I don't think, apart from Trailblazers, the only one that I can see, like, okay, I'll probably buy that one. And if the Titanic game comes out, like, fully released in May, obviously that one. But the only one I wanted to point out was Tunnels. I'm never going to play this game, but my gosh, what a great horror game idea where you're just in caves and you're crawling through and there are like scary things down there. That's such a cool horror game idea, and it's claustrophobic. And it's online co-op too, so it's free to play multiplayer game that this is. But there's a single player one as well, a single player aspect of it for sure as well. I think they showed this off in the Rough Talk showcase, if I remember correctly, actually. But yeah, I just wanted to point that out. That's available now. You can download the free-to-play multiplayer preview, but single player and such will come out later this year, later this month, the May 15th. But yeah, I just wanted to point that out. Anyway, Samson, that will do for a Walkabout Part 1. In Part 2, we're going to talk a bit about Ghost Town and Eggy, so we will see you then.
Hey, we know public lobbies in VR games can be a bit toxic, feel a bit empty at times. That's why we created the Let's Talk Oculus Discord, a friendly community that you can join for multiplayer meetups, general VR chat, the game, and chat about VR, fitness motivation, and there's even a very impressive 3D printing channel. Join over 100 of our community members in the Let's Talk Oculus Discord for free. The link is right in the description.
All right, welcome back to Part 2, what we've been playing. Samson, let's start off. I know you've played a couple more games, but we've both been playing Ghost Town. We both got into it. So
we succumbed to the hype.
First of all, I'm surprised that you bought it because Ghost Town, you're not a horror game person. I know it's technically not scary, but it's still called Ghost Town and there's still ghosts. And I would not have thought you picked that up.
What kind of told me was Mike was describing it to somebody, I think in Rough Talk, and I saw him mention red matter in there in the comparisons, and I was like,
oh, I think he was talking to me in the
in our Discord. Okay, yeah, there you go. Look at that.
Yeah, and, he said that, and he said it compares to Seventh Guest, and he said one other game as well. One, no. Yeah, but that's true.
Well, he said there were no real jump scares. I knew there were no jump scares, right? It's more like a vibe, and I'm not too far into it yet, but it's not. I haven't frightened myself. What I've frightened myself with is my own, stupidity.
Right.
But go on, Dan.
Yeah, so I've played a bit of it, and it's just for context here. I think I played like an hour and a half, but when I had a quick look at a walkthrough online just to see like how long the game is, I didn't obviously watch what happens afterwards or anything like that. But their whole walkthrough from start to finish, obviously they probably know all the puzzles, so they could just do them quickly. But their whole walkthrough was 3 hours long. So according to their walkthrough, I was just over an hour long on their playthrough. But I think my playthrough was a bit longer because obviously you got to work out the puzzles, right? And I was stuck a couple times, but we managed to push through.
Where are you? Have you left the lighthouse, I assume?
Yeah. I'm basically... without spoiling it, I won't spoil. Obviously, we did Walkabout spoilers, but we won't spoil Ghost Town. I've done the Lighthouse Ghost. I've also done the Apartment Ghost, and I'm now outside, about to go to someone's house.
Okay. I've just finished the Lighthouse Ghost, and I've just started the next one.
Okay, so you're not too far away from me.
Yeah.
You're just like maybe half a chapter away from me, basically. Like a mini chapter. The second chapter is not that much. So for those of you who've not heard of it, or if you've not really paid attention to people's reviews and all that stuff, essentially the story is you're a ghost hunter, and you're a Scottish ghost hunter. First time I played as a Scottish person. I just want to throw that out. No, it's not. No, just no. Just no. Anyway, you were thinking Cockney London accent there, but you got to go way up north. Anyway, essentially, you're a ghost hunter, and it starts off. Well, like I said, no spoilers, but it starts off where it intros you in the game that you're with your younger brother, and you're trying to find this one specific ghost, and what it turns out to be, it wasn't clear at the start, but what you're trying to do is these ghosts are essentially like in purgatory, where they have done something or something that they really regret. Okay, so for example, the first ghost is she's just, I think she bombed in her like theater production, and they replaced her immediately. So
no, Dan, she died.
Oh, did she die?
She died on the opening night and wasn't able to perform, and then they replaced her pretty much immediately.
Oh, yeah, see, I thought she bombed, so they replaced her immediately, but no, guess she died. Fair enough.
I'm pretty certain that was the plot.
Fair enough. It's something like that. But anyway, they've done something and that they really regret. The lighthouse one that you mentioned, like he's not been able to turn the light on in time, and a bunch of people got killed and such. So they've done something that they've kind of like regretted, and the whole idea is that you set them free. So you find objects, you find things in the play space. So in like the lighthouse, you have to find different items and such that will relate to this ghost. And the whole idea is that at the end you set them free, from their like purgatory and such. That's the whole idea. There. So anyway, so that's kind of like the main part of the story. And yeah, what you also do, which is really cool, is that in your apartment, you also just talk to ghosts in your spare time in your bedroom, and they all have like to-do lists. And it's really funny, actually, when you go into the apartment, the Samson, in your bedroom, there's like a big to-do list, and it's all the different ghosts that you speak to in your bedroom and all their different like what they demand. So one person like demands that their neighbor returns like their like little crock pot or something like that they lent to them and such, and they're really annoyed, and you talk to the ghost and they're still really annoyed that you've not got this crock pot back from this neighbor, for example. It's not crock pot, but I'm using that as an example. But it's quite funny. It's actually really funny in there, but it's not scary, but it does have eerie vibes to it for sure. I think if I went in with no one telling me anything, I would be much more scared. But after Live Over Mike said it's not that scary, then I was like, okay, I should be fine. Good. And there is the odd, like, you do get the odd jump scare, but it's very small. Like there might be a pot that falls down.
Something moves, yeah.
Yeah, because you're like tense and you're kind of going through and you're on your own. No, It doesn't jump. It's not that kind of horror game, no. And because even the Seventh Guest, that had a couple little jump scares like that where it kind of jumps in front of you. But it's nothing compared to like a full-on horror game or anything like that. But yeah, so that's the actual idea of it. Sam, so what do you think of the graphics? The graphics looks pretty nice, right?
Yeah, graphics are pretty dang high quality. The lighting is very good. You're usually in small spaces.
You are, yeah.
So those, it
helps with the rendering.
It helps with that. But even the few times where you move into sort of more open spaces, like outside the lighthouse, I did feel like it sort of held up. And it looks good, Dan. It's very really immersive. Good. It really feels like you're in this like haunted place. I love the look of the ghosts too. I love the coloring of all that, and
that's very Seventh Guest. It looks like a ghostly projection. It's like a blue like steam kind of like aspect of it.
I will say when the game starts, I try to touch everything and realized you can't touch anything.
Yeah.
And then somewhere along, I touched a magazine and it was a collectible. And I was like, oh, I got to touch those. Okay.
You got to find these magazines,
But prior to, I was like, why even try to touch anything? But now I know to look for the magazines.
It's true though. It's true. Like this threw me off big time because I have just come from Wanderer, right? Playing that where literally everything you can pick up and interact with and such. Physical. Where this is the complete opposite, where there's only it feels like an older VR game where only like the only things that they want you to pick up can pick up.
What it feels like is an old point and click adventure, which I kind of like, right? Like everything, all the cutscenes are sort of you're in an area and you can kind of move around, but you can't move out of that area. It'll be like get back in there to continue like watching the cutscene basically. And anything you can interact with has a little circle and just says like A to examine, which makes it good for like not missing things because you're like, you just scan everything looking for things that you know you can interact with.
Yeah.
And it does in that way just feel like a point and click adventure like that. Does. Yeah, but just like adapted very, very well for VR.
Yeah, it does. I think that's the perfect way to say it. It does feel like a point and click, and that's why it feels. I know you haven't played it, but that's why it feels very much similar to Seventh Guest. At the moment,
I guess I gotta hop in that one.
It's really good. It's great. I actually Seventh Guest I love, and I haven't.
The puzzle's too hard though because I've been struggling this one.
Okay, so
are there hints? Is there hints?
There are hints. Yeah, there are hints. Just like this one, those hints. Okay. The puzzles in Seventh Guest so far, I've only played like just over an hour of Ghost Town, so still. Well, I guess in that's a third of the way finished, right? They are easier in Ghost Town at the moment. I think also because there's only so much you can do. The great thing about Seventh Guest is that when you
can sort of power your way through a lot of these.
With the Seventh Guest as well, like everything is just in one room. So when you go into the room, all the answers are there. You just got to kind of figure it out. It's not like you need to leave the place, go somewhere else and such like that. Everything's just confined in one place. And this is the same with Ghost Town, where everything's kind of just in one place when it comes to a puzzle. Like you don't have to go, like in the lighthouse, for example, you don't have to go, I need to go up 3 floors to try and do something to go back down.
Floor. Yeah. Where I struggle is like, because I understand there's very little I can interact with, right? So I'm like, all right, I know what to interact with, but I struggle sometimes. Sometimes it's very obvious. It's just right in front of me.
Yeah.
Where I just like don't notice it. And then I'm like, all right. And I just keep trying things for like 5-10 minutes. And and I'm early in the game, right? So I'm like, I know what I'm doing. I'm just not understanding what I am to do. But then I remembered that it has the hints. Mm-hmm. And so a couple times I've used these hints, and once I used the second hint. Haven't had to go to a third hint yet. But one at a time. So first hint was something I knew, and then I was like, all right, well, now I got to go to the second hint because that's what I apparently need the hint with. But I do like that, where I can like sort of get myself to the point of I want to quit. To all right, now I understand. Okay, now I can progress because it doesn't give you the answer; it just sort of guides you into like this is what the puzzle is. Mm-hmm. I mean, the third, like it might eventually sort of give you the answer, but so far I've used it to be like to sort of like guide my eyes, if you will.
Yeah, if it works like Seventh Guest, then the Seventh Guest one is like when you get to the third hint, it will just do it for you. And it will just give you the answer. And it will just... I had to do that once in Seventh Guest because I couldn't get this... There was one like math puzzle and I tried it so many times and I just had to do the hint and it finally got me through. And then I looked online and saw someone do it and I still couldn't understand how they did it. It didn't make any sense to me. So I think that was fine with that one, or like fine skipping that one. But so you can do the same thing. So it is definitely friendly. So yeah, I think you'd be okay with Seventh Guest. I think you'll really like the the whole premise of it if you like this one, to be honest.
But yeah, I'm enjoying it. Once I figure out like what the puzzle system is, I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. And the few times I've gotten them all without a hint, I feel so accomplished.
Yeah, you feel so good. There was one, I won't say the answer, but there was one early on in the lighthouse where there was like 4 different images, and you had to put them in a specific order to unlock the safe or whatever. And I was like, I know what the answer would be. I know what it needs to tell me, and it's got to be here somewhere. And I looked for so long, and I had no idea. And I got to a point where I was like, I might just have to quit this and come back to it. And then I finally saw it.
Funny. Okay, that's so funny because I saw that. I found that really like that's one that I found really quick.
You found really quick. Wow, it took me ages, and I was like, I finally. It was just literally. I can't say because I don't want to spoil it, but I was like. Yeah, I knew it was here somewhere, but I just was not looking at the right spot. But I think this is at the moment. It's hard for me to say if it's like an amazing game and such. But what I can say is that it's so refreshing to have a game that's not full of like bugs and such at launch, and it's great because this game just strips everything down and it just goes into a simple. We've got a good story. We've got some good like mechanics and some decent puzzles and such. And at the moment, that's all it is. But it works so well because they don't need to, unlike a game like Wanderer, which I'm sure is going to be amazing once all those bugs get fixed. There's so much that's going on in that game. So there's always room for error and such, where this is just everything stripped down. But sometimes that's what makes the game so good because it's so focused and simple, right?
It's don't get beyond your means type of deal. And I do feel like it's a very, very well polished, well made game.
Yeah,
and I'm enjoying myself. I'm not particularly good at this type of game. I do enjoy myself a puzzle game here and there, but more normally like a more like traditional puzzle, but I'm enjoying myself, Dan. I'm curious where the story goes.
Yeah, me too.
And I sort of like how it's segmented off here with the ghosts. It's sort of a nice little gives you sort of natural rest periods, if you will.
Yeah, it's really good. I really love the fact that
I think we'll finish it. Damn, this might be one of the first games both of us finish.
I think so too, because it's only 3 hours long, right? And I think you're just a little bit behind me, but we're very close. You're probably like 30 minutes behind me, and that's it, right? To be honest, so
I do have a very busy week, but I'll be getting back into it.
Me too. I don't know if I'll finish before PAX, but I'm hoping to. But yeah, I also just one last thing is that obviously. Me knowing London quite well, going to South London where they go to when their apartment is, it feels so much like London. It's crazy because obviously all the set design and everything is based off like a London apartment and such, an old London apartment, but it feels exactly
everything's
the same.
On the other side.
Everything is on the other side, but it feels just like that, which is really cool. But yeah, a great game so far. Good voice acting too. Good like character models as well. Also all made by Fireproof Studios, which is just a indie dev. So well done for them. But yeah, like I said, we will circle back this once we actually have finished it and give like our final thoughts, because going back to the comparison of Seventh Guest, it was really good up until the last mission is just like pants. I don't know what they were doing. But apart from that, everything else is like top tier. So yeah, we'll see how this ends. But yeah, it's a really good game.
And anything else?
I haven't. That's all I've been playing, that and obviously Walkabout. So what have you got going on?
Dan, I finally got into Eggy, which I will read the little store blurb here.
With our little virtual
your home. Pet. Yeah, your home sits on the rift between the Dragon Realm and the world as we know it. One day you discover a mysterious glowing egg. As you move it somewhere safe, an ancient book of lore appears, revealing clues on how to care for the creature inside. And that's a pretty good setup for what happens, because you boot up the game, and there's sort of some lore, if you will, some story, and then there's an egg, and you need to hatch the egg, and a dragon is born. It's hand tracking.
Is it like Pokemon that you get to choose your egg?
No, you just get an egg. I'm not sure if I've only played once, so I'm not sure if the dragon looks different.
Mm-hmm.
Upon different playthroughs, but I'm gonna assume not.
Yeah.
So I played a little bit, and then I put the 5-year-old in, and she played with hand tracking, and it worked well. I think she played about 30 minutes, if I had to guess. She saw through the egg hatching, and then played a little bit with the dragon, Eggy, if you will. Yeah. So you hatch the egg by casting 3 different spells. One of the spells you sort of have to pinch and then go up and down. Another one you go in a circle, and another one you make a flame.
Okay.
And honestly, her little hands, I think she doesn't like stick her hand out far enough, or like has a hard time like really tracking it. So the flame one was a hard one. The circle one was okay, except she kept going the wrong way.
Yeah.
I was like, make a circle, and she would just go the counterclockwise when it needed clockwise or whatever. And then the line one was really easy. She got really quick.
She's 5 years old, right?
Yeah. I was trying to guide her through casting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Nice.
And we mostly were able to get through it.
Nice.
For the most part, up until we reached a friction point I'll get to.
Yeah.
So after egg hatches, then you can name it, and you type it in. So this was a first friction point. She can't read or anything like this, so she just I was like, just type something and then hit the blue button because enter is blue. So she's like, okay, I'll type this, and then she typed in random letters.
What's the name?
Enter. So I think if you type in the name correctly, you can actually call it that, right? But because she typed in random letters, the AI couldn't understand how you couldn't pronounce that, right? So she had to call it a hey or eggy, and then the dragon would respond. But so I think if you wrote like frost and then you said frost, it would come. I think. Cool. I can't guarantee that yet.
That'll be cool. Yeah. That would make sense too. Yeah, that would make sense.
And then from there you can you get it like an iPad, like a tablet, and you can kind of buy things for this dragon. So I just went crazy like a parrot on Black Friday. I was buying food. I was buying toys for this dragon. I was just throwing them everywhere. And then I put the headset back on her because she could not, for the life of her, use this tablet in VR. I think she's like putting her hands too close. And so like it's not, she can't press the VR buttons on the tablet. I think because she's so used to using a real tablet that still like using the virtual one and not having feedback is just like too mind blowing.
Fair.
But I was able to get in, and then she played a little bit with it. She played fetch. There's a sponge she bought, and she washed the little dragon. It's a cute little game, it seems, Dan.
Yeah.
I'd probably say best for a kid that could read, probably like an 8 to 11-year-old, 12-year-old. I feel like eventually you get past that, and I feel like it might be a little too cutesy type of deal. But
I guess that's what they say with just using VR in general, right? I think 13 used to be the age, but I think they lowered it down recently.
Listen, Zuckerberg was just on Theo Vaughn's podcast, and he was saying how much I think his 7-year-old likes VR.
This is wild.
Or like builds in Horizon Worlds or something. I don't know. Anyway.
Crazy stuff.
But, so she did like Eggy, Dan, but she did like the other game we played even more. That is to say, the 5-year-old. And that is Dugeon Maker. Dugeon Maker is in beta.
Yeah.
Dugeon Maker is a mixed reality sandbox game where you shape the adventure, take control to build and customize every detail, or effortlessly generate endless dungeons.
She liked this over Eggy?
Oh, she loved this. So, all right. So we woke up early Saturday morning, and she was like, let's play Floor is Lava. And I'm like, that sounds like a huge mess. I have this VR game in mind. It's kind of like that. Let's give it a try. And she's like, okay. So the thing is you can spend a lot of time building, customizing the dungeons, if you will. But you can also just hit generate. So I just you insert your space or whatever, like your room, and then you can just keep hitting generate, and it'll generate different ones, and eventually, like, I figure out one that's pretty good for her.
Yeah.
And everything in like my dining room table is just something like a brick that she can't touch in VR. So like she'd have to go around.
Yeah, have to go around. Yeah.
And there are like 3 different ones I think you could set up. The ones I was using was sort of like an Indiana Jones, where she'd have to go get something like a treasure and then return back. And yeah, she just loved it, like going through the lava, or there was axes, spinning spike like tube that went back and forth.
She had to like dodge it and kind of avoid it and walk around the room kind of thing.
Exactly. I did put her in God mode, so nothing could really like kill. Like there was no dying for her, which was good because it would also randomly generate the skeletons which attack you, and there's no like defending or attacking. You just got to dodge them.
Yeah, yeah.
The skeleton scared her a little bit, but once she realized you couldn't really do anything, it was fine. Fair. And Dungeon Maker, it almost made me want to get rid of all my furniture in the entire house and just try to make it was a rainy day, but I really want to go outside and try it as well.
Yeah, when you have more space.
Like you could just make a huge dungeon. And this was also went into hand tracking, so she didn't need controllers.
Yeah.
And could just kind of like walk around and do it.
Room scale.
And you could generate. So what I ended up doing a lot of was generating and then customizing it a little bit from there.
Mm-hmm.
And I did end up buying the DLC packs, Stan, because
we were having more assets and stuff.
We were having so much fun that I was like, I got to support this even more.
Fair enough.
It changes the skins. So it default, the free one is like what you would think of like a normal dungeon sort of feel, like
dark.
Dark.
Fire.
Knights, that type of deal. And you can also then get what would be more like a Egyptian tomb feel,
right?
And an Arctic tomb like feel, which is just like ice everywhere. I went with the ice one mostly. It just felt the happiest.
Yeah, no, the other ones are like dark and grimy and scary and not great for a 5-year-old.
But yeah.
Nice. That's really
good
cool.
Times.
I just had a quick look at the trailer, and yes, the skeleton is quite scary, especially when it's just walking to you.
And it's huge, Dan, because she's tiny.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm surprised that she was okay with that, but fair play to her.
She was like, "Oh, the skeleton!" And I just sort of like urge her. She was like, "I'm not going that way." I was like, "No." She's like, "Okay." And then she kind of like would time it when she'd wait for the skeleton to be looking the other way.
Fair play. That's tough. That cool. Who would have thought? Dungeon Maker, the perfect game for 5-year-olds.
Yeah, there you go. And Dan, other than that, I won't talk. We've been going on and on, but Trombone Champ got in a few toots.
Nice.
Not too many. I'm not close to that trombone, but here and there, if I just keep tooting away, I'll eventually collect enough toots.
You'll eventually get there, yeah.
And Breachers, got my B-Haptics suit on, and we got into Breachers Friday night. Had a grand old time. Dan, there's new skins, there's new charms. I got a new charm. It's a little like lottery gambling things that you click, and it makes the sound of the what are the slots? It makes
the slot machine. Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, nice. Very good. Very good.
That's that, Dan. It was a good week.
It was a good week.
And it was a short week, Dan. I did all that in like
I guess
5 days.
Last time we recorded was only a few days ago because we recorded late last time and recording earlier this time. So that's what happens. But fair play to you. Very fair play to you. We got to think of some room scale co-op games for PAX.
Dan, Demio, Grocket.
You got what's the one that you can put stuff up and you can shoot and it's like laser tag?
Space Pirate Arena.
There's also that's the full scale. There's a Spatial Ops is another one.
Also Spatial Ops, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of games we got to get into.
There's a lot.
BAM! I've never played BAM. Can we finally play BAM?
Yeah, we can finally play BAM.
You might have to bring your Quest.
I might have to just bring it, let's be honest. All right, that'll do for part 2. Let's go into part 3 where we'll talk about the only game that's out this week just to wrap up the show. So we'll see you then. Let's Talk Oculus is available on all good podcast platforms and some rubbish ones as well. If you want to see the video version, it's available on YouTube and Spotify. And also, if you love us so much, then consider throwing us $1 at patreon.com/letstalkoculus. Back to the show. All right, welcome back to part 3 of LTO 184. We're going to talk about the games out this week and wrap this show up. Samson, you've been talking for a while, so let's talk about Barely Escape. Not Barely Escape. It is Barely Escape.
Sure?
My bad.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm pretty certain. I was going to say it's your accent, but apparently you were doing it on purpose.
No, I thought it said Barely Escape, but it's definitely Barely Escape.
Because it's bears.
It's bears. Yeah, Anyway, your loyal dog, Robin, has vanished. I got thrown off there because I was like, hold on, there's bears and why is it a dog? Anyway, your loyal dog, Robin, has vanished. Embark on a thrilling journey to track him down through the Everwood, a dreamlike world teeming with mystery, danger, and secrets. The animals have kidnapped, transformed into stuffed toys, and trapped in claw machines. Can you outsmart their captor and bring them home? Crack tricky puzzles to sneak into Dr. Kid's secret labs and foil his dark experiments. Take control of the high-tech drone claw to rescue animals trapped in claw machines. Precision is key. Guide rescue animals to safety through platforming levels and branching paths, dangerous obstacles, and sneaky dodging traps whilst collecting rewards. Every animal brings life back to Everwood, transforming the barren wilderness back into the thriving ecosystem. That is so I said it again, barely escaped.
Yes, like you barely escaped, and it's a play on words.
I know it's a play on words. That's why it's throwing me off.
If it had beer, then it would be barely escape.
We need to wrap this podcast up. Any thoughts on this game before we do?
No, not really.
No, me neither, to be honest.
I'd say hold out for reviews.
Yeah. It's coming out very soon.
It looks silly, but
it's meant to be in early access, to be honest. So it might be a bit rough around the edges, but it does look silly. It does look cute. If you watch the trailer, it does look like a little fun platformer, to be honest, if you're into that. But this was going to be a miss for me because I can't even pronounce the game.
You can barely pronounce it.
I can barely pronounce the game. Okay, Samson, that will do for this show. Next week, we are probably going to go back into a revisited episode and look at Lucky's Tale. Apparently one of the biggest platformers, but it's a game that I haven't played. Samson, you played Lucky's Tale before?
Not yet.
It's going to be new to us, so we'll have a whole episode about that next week. But for now, thanks for joining us. Thanks for listening to the show. I've been Dan. Samson's been Max Mustard with his t-shirt, and we will catch you next week.
No Kyle Ketchup.